Morning, everybody. Chris Wood here. September 24th, 2022. This here is a picture of O.P.P, Lennox and Ennington County, Napanee, Ontario, sex offender, inmate, and guilty of murders, boss, and co-offender to Lennox and Ennington, Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills, 14716, ex-chief. He used to stalk children for him for sex slavery, pedophilia, sex slavery at Tim Hortons every day. Staff Sergeants Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Robert Kane, a woman named Stacy, a mental health worker, and Shelley Hafner. He owns all of them police. He's co-offenders with them. Human sex trade, slavery, trafficking, identity thefts, frauds, kidnapping, sex assaults, lies, medical blacklisting, time buying, cover-ups, arrest refusals except for on me, their victim. And I am a victim since 2019, since late 2018, 2019, for speaking of police crimes out of the Morning Star mission at the time, the human homeless trafficking and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain. As a result, I became a victim. I've been lied about. There's been lies against me stating I have long criminal history and record, and none of it is true. There's been lies against me stating I have a long psychological record and history, and none of it is true. There's been lies cast against me about drugs, and none of it is true. I do not do drugs. There's been lies against me stating I am a self-harmer and suicidal, and none of it is true. All of these lies have been cast against me from O.P.P, the Lennox and Ennington, Ontario Provincial Police, and a mental health worker named Stacy. They are human traffickers. They are guilty of aiding in my identity theft. They are guilty of injuring, torturing, sex assaults, kidnapping 24 hours after asking for help, my skull being deformed, being able to prove it and have proven it every step of the way, being called a liar. O.P.P have special doctors at Lennox and Ennington County General Hospital that they have and use that co-commit with criminal negligent intent to help aid in O.P.P crimes and to cover them up. File falsifier and girlfriend to Stacy, mental health worker, Kingston, Dr. Tatiana V, aka Margie V, Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Waldron, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Barton. Ones they've used to discriminate against me is Dr. Sue, Dr. Mbimbola, Dr. Fardell. Other ones involved triage nurse Tanya, a blonde-haired woman, triage nurse Terry, and triage nurse David, and a paladin security guard roughly 25 years old and approximately 400 to 500 pounds. He is guilty of kicking me out of the hospital with no reason whatsoever, causing me serious medical harm last time I was at the hospital. I went there to get help. I walked in, I seen triage. They asked me what was going on. I told them that my head was swelled up again and it was numb, and they were putting it down as just being a simple headache and putting it down as being me on drugs. They're looking to dry out or looking for something because of the lies cast against me. I've been medically blacklisted through Napanee. I've been medically blacklisted through Kingston. I've been medically blacklisted through Belleville. Every time I would go to the hospitals or doctors, all I would get is, I seen your file, I seen your file, I seen your file. I've been also given fake CAT scans with the wrong date and time as well. O.P.P and Stacy have my original ones from November of 2019, given to them compliments of Tatiana. O.P.P has my blood and my piss illegally. They got it the day that they kidnapped me, May 27, 2021. 24 hours after me asking for help against them with arresting and charging doctors, police, and their boss, William Wooldridge. So, since I woke up this morning, I've been getting fluid coming up from my lung on my right side again. Everything that was done to me is all on my right side, from my right kidney right down to my bowels, from there to my right kidney to my right lung, and up and through my right side, all in here. It's going to the veins in my neck where my jugular is, and up through here to underneath my tongue. And then it's moving, I'm getting liquid or something, and then it's moving up towards here by my ear, where I was shot back in 2019 by the ex-O.P.P chief, him and someone in a black truck. And that's actually when my problem started. And it goes up here. They shot it in my ear actually at the time, and it went into my ear, and it started moving here and then up to my parietal lobe in here. And that's when I started having the problems, and that's when I went to the hospital to find out what the fuck was going on with me. In the meantime, my skull's been deformed about 50 different shapes and sizes from me going through identity theft, and how it is being done is through what is called remote neuromonitoring. It is police and military tech that they have and use, and what it does, it is a microchip implant that destroys a person's central nervous system. And I have it being used on me by William Bill Wooldridge, by Blair Hardy, by Tyler Lake, by Jabin Allstein, and by about 50 other different pieces of shit around here in Napanee that it's being passed around to and used on me. They are all broadcasting through me. This is how I'm being mentally fucked up. This is how I am being injured, and this is how I am going through my identity theft. The whole right side of my head has been completely fucking deformed. So I'm 50 years old, and I am the victim of identity theft and framing revenge retaliation through Lennox and Addington County provincial police, the ones named, and the doctor's name, who are guilty of aiding in this. They've taken my human rights, they've taken my legal rights, and they've taken my medical rights, assuring this crime against me. William Wooldridge's ex-Ontario chapter, Hells Angels or Bandidos leader. He's a rat informant. He is in witness protection. He needs this identity theft as well. So this benefits him, and it benefits O.P.P. They get their homicide, and Wooldridge gets, last known used name, gets his identity theft, which is pretty much done. I've been trying to get him arrested and everybody else for 3 years. I've been surrounded with hands on guns. I've been had my face laughed in, medically blacklisted, kidnapped, and how it's being done is because they can see me doing this. They hear me doing this through the remote neuromonitoring, which actually acts is invasive spying on a victim as well, and I can 100% prove it. Right now, I am getting air, what feels like air, being pumped into the whole right side of my head. If anybody has seen my videos, they can tell that my skull has been deformed, seriously deformed, and my identity theft is done. I'm being numbed down to be dumbed down in hopes that I am no longer talking about this. And right now, on my whole right side, this is Tyler Lake broadcasting through me from remote neuromonitoring. They are all hanging out down on Water Street or on Center Street and Thomas Street at a crack shack, or they are at a guy named Ray Ray's right here in Napanee on East Street. He owns a white deaf pit bull, and they all hang out there because they know that they're all O.P.P co-offenders. They get paid $300 a day for doing this while they get for this framing against me. William Billy Wooldridge and Blair Hardy are guilty of stalking my mother and using R&M in her and murdering her through it from the EMFs and radiation causing tumors and cancers back in 2020. So this is what happens in Napanee when you speak of police crimes. You go through identity thefts, you go through sex assaults, you go through deforming, you go through medical blacklisting, you go through obstruction from a justice of the peace to help them get away with their crimes. I am Chris Wood. I live in Napanee, Ontario, Canada. I am the victim of identity theft for revenge retaliation framing against me from one sex offender inmate who is boss to Lennox Nennington, Ontario Provincial Police. This is how they frame, this is how they traffic, and this is how they murder right here in Napanee with help from the doctors, using their inmates, their co-offenders, and everyone else, their Pontius Pilate murdering motherfuckers. I am Chris Wood, and I will be disappearing soon as William Wooldridge or Blair Hardy or Tyler Lake or Jabin Alstein. Yes, I am 50 years old and I am going through identity theft. I've been going through it for 3 years. And like I said, it's being done to me through the remote neuro monitoring. O.P.P is also guilty of the murdered and missing Spencer Mills. He is a serial killing piece of shit cop. 14716. They are guilty of murder. They're guilty of pedophilia, human sex trade, slavery, trafficking children to adults or to pedophiles, and adults to sex offenders, identity thefts and frauds, financial thefts and frauds as well. Watch yourselves, watch your children. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Be safe. Love all, hate none. You are filth fucking garbage, O.P.P, in one way or another. Every one of you will legally pay for what you've done to me, you bloodline ending motherfucking garbage.